What's going on, YouTube? This is Blue Boat. No, I've been away for a while and everything. I'm sitting up here, playing a real quick game of Madden. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I guess I'm a gamer and everything. You could say that and everything. Hey, I got my, indulgence. I got my indulgence and everything. So what can I say? But anyway, I'm over here, just chilling. I've been, running, in and out and everything. I've been real busy as far as like my everyday life is concerned. Trying to stay afloat through this trying times and everything. But I said I would get a video going and everything, and I would like to give my thoughts, my personal thoughts on this documentary, The Last Dance with Jordan and everything. Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, and the whole final season of 1998. You know what I mean, and all that stuff. And everything. So I like to just give a few things. I'm gonna put my phone down, and play this game real quick, but I'm gonna give my thoughts on this thing. So far, the documentary's been pretty good. You know what I mean? It goes in tale of a whole lot of stuff we didn't know about, and a whole lot of stuff that I didn't know about, as far as like the documentary, what actually happened behind closed doors, and what happened as far as like the eternal strife between ownership and the players, and Jerry Krause seemed like a real pariah as far as like what actual players were concerned. I know for sure Mike didn't like him. Scotty had his problems. Phil Jackson had his problems with Krause. There's a whole lot of stuff that very insightful things that I didn't know about back then that I know now. So, but like I said before, it's a pretty good documentary, but it's a lot of stuff that so far in the documentary that I found about Jordan that I really didn't know about. A lot of stories, a lot of not so flattering stories to where I really didn't know about it. You know what I mean? I heard about the rumors about him being a jerk, somewhat of a jerk to his teammates, somewhat of a jerk, just treating people, not treating people kindly and everything, as far as that goes. But yeah, a lot of stuff I didn't find out about until now. I heard like I said before, I heard the rumors, but after this documentary, I gotta say, I'll always hold Jordan in a high regard as far as his accomplishments on the court, what he did for the game, and his impact. But as far as the person on the court, off the court, it left me kind of disappointed. But then again, a lot of people in their personal lives you don't really know about until they actually put it out there. Like, I heard about the stories about him, the whole Republicans buy shoes too, which I didn't particularly agree with. I was kind of floored by it. Like, why would he take that stance? I mean, is everyday life not that important, but profit is? I kind of like, I was real disappointed in that stance he took as far as him basically selling out his own community, not even taking a stand for a profit, just to put more profit in his pockets. But I'll get to that in a minute. Beginning of the documentary was very insightful. I mean, the way they put it together as far as early in his career to like the final season, his final season with the, Chicago Bulls, but a lot of stuff I didn't know about, man. A lot of stuff a lot of people didn't know about as far as, his leadership qualities, his leadership skills, Jordan's, you know, way of motivating his teammates, you know, particularly various role players, you know what I mean, that he thought weren't playing up to par, weren't playing up to his standard, you know. Basically he, instilled some of his leadership in that as far as actually motivating them, you know what I mean? Well, there's a method to everybody's madness, But, I pretty, so far it was pretty insightful, how they did the documentary as far as like following him his last season with the Bulls, going back to his early part of his career where he made his debut in the NBA. He missed that one sophomore season, and he came back, scored 63 points on the Celtics. That was a classic, performance. But as far as that goes, they pretty did they did a very insightful thing on that as far as how Jordan got his start up until that final season. So yeah, that was pretty insightful, But getting back to what I was talking about earlier, there's a lot of eye-opening things that left kind of it kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth, man. You know what I mean? Him. I didn't know he basically treated Horace Grant like shit. I didn't know that. He basically treated Horace Grant like shit. Like, you're gonna sit back and tell a man that he can't eat because he had a bad game? You kidding me? You kidding me with that bullshit? Now, that was me. We would have won 10 rounds. I'm sorry, we would have won 10 rounds, man, because you don't take no man's, like, you don't mess with a man's livelihood like that, Telling somebody he can't eat because he didn't play well, that's bullshit, And all I know is that at the end of the day, I will have to stand up for myself because I'm not going to take no crap from nobody, number one. And number two, I'm a man, you know what I mean? And I expect to be treated as such. I mean, end of the day, you don't have to like me, but you damn sure got to respect me. Damn sure will respect me, And I don't care if you're the, Pope. I don't care if you're the Pope, I mean, you don't mess with a man's livelihood like that. You don't. I'm sorry. And like I said before, I heard about the stories about him being a real jerk, a real a-hole, but this right here pretty much confirmed it. You know what I mean? And another thing that kind of turned me off too, that he brought up he justified the whole Republicans buy shoes statement too. Like, I don't understand it, man. I don't get it. Like, you basically sold yourself out for profit. You basically, like, said F everybody else. I mean, I don't get it. Like, it's quite disappointing that he still took this stance to this day. And like, I don't know if he was absent-minded back then of all the issues that us as a people went through, but end of the day, man, it kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth, man. And I always hold what he accomplished on the court in high regard, always. But as far as him being somebody that I look up to off the court, that kind of has, after this documentary, that kind of has swung the pendulum a little bit. Like, I don't look at him the same no more as I did back in 1989 or 1991 or 1992 or 1993 or 1996. Back then, he was damn near a role model to me. Because, I played basketball endlessly, and I'm somewhat model my game after him. The patented fadeaway jump shot and everything. But, like I said, You don't know people until they actually open themselves up into who they actually are, you know? And then, like I said, it was quite revealing. Another thing I want to bring up too, it's two sides to every story, okay? This whole Isaiah Thomas thing, him walking off the court. Now, back then, you gotta understand, like, Isaiah Thomas wasn't well received around the league, you know? He wasn't well received. He was basically a jerk within his own right, you know? Now, like I said, two wrongs don't make a right. Back then, he was instigator in that Dennis Rodman statement that if Larry Bird was black, he would just be another player, you know? That was pretty much when Isaiah started to, grow a reputation around the league that was kind of sneaky and kind of grimy, you know? And then, I heard, basically instigated the whole Jordan rule thing, and behind the scenes. He didn't do it actually on the court, but he did it behind the scenes. Long story short, he basically had run-ins with Magic too. Magic Johnson. Him and Magic Johnson fell out after a while because he was being such a jerk. And end of the day, like I said, it's two sides to every story. The Pistons walked off. They walked off the court without shaking hands. But see, people saw it back then was them being a-holes. It was led by Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, Mark McGuire, all them guys. All them cats. But then, I get the other side of the story. They said Larry Bird, nobody even mentions this. Larry Bird walked off the court when the Pistons beat them back in the '88 conference finals. So, people are making a big deal and turning this Isaiah to a villain. Like, I understand it, it's poor sportsmanship and he should have handled it differently. But at the same time, you got people out here in the media that's like trying to boost MJ's greatness than what already is. They trying to make Isaiah to be the bad guy, which I feel is kind of wrong, because, they just responded what the Celtics did, but at the same time, I feel like they should have, just handled their business, not even shake their hands, just like acknowledge them, don't shake their hands if you don't want to, just like give a head nod at least, and, acknowledge that they beat you, acknowledge that they were the better team, and just call it a day. But there's two sides to every story, man. This grudge that Jordan is holding, I understand it, but at some point you got to let it go. Saying, calling Isaiah, all this stuff, and it seemed like, to me, Isaiah's moved past it. So, like I said, end of the day, man, it's like they both have their skeletons in the closet as far as like this situation is concerned, but seemed like to me, even then, Isaiah was a grimy dude back then. Jordan's a grimy dude for like just keep harboring this grudge. I mean, I understand it, but at the end of the day, man, you don't have to go out here and say he's an a-hole, say he knew about it, But like I said before, it's two sides to every story. So far, the documentary is pretty good, And one more thing I wanted to touch on, I don't blame Scottie Pippen for taking his summer vacation because for the going that many years underpaid, I think it's a damn shame. For what he did, what he did for that team as far as defense, scoring, rebounding, assist. I mean, you can make the argument he carried as much as weight as Jordan did. So it's like, yeah, he got screwed over. He definitely got screwed over by that organization. But Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Prince Sports and everyone else who subscribed to me. Yeah, I'm trying to get my page going again, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole thing right now so far for the documentary. But there's more. There's like 4 episodes left, I think. Well, 2 after tonight, but 4 that's yet to be aired. But yeah, let me know what you guys think so far and give me some insight. And I'll be back for a couple more videos, to break down various topics and other things. But let me know what everybody thinks. Later.